What are these things and what do they do? When working on a larger hydronic system, you may see some unfamiliar components and wonder, what do they do? This video explains that. Welcome to Boiler Room Detective. I'm your host, Ray Wohlfarth. As you will see, many hydronic components have multiple uses. The first item is a flow control valve. You might see these on both residential and commercial systems. This one is a Bell & Gossett, but other manufacturers make them as well. It does two things. It's a weighted check valve that opens when the pump starts. When the pump stops, it closes, eliminating ghost flow through the idle zones. Ghost flow is when the heat enters the heat emitters, such as the radiators, because of the buoyancy of hot water. On the top of the valve is what looks like a teardrop. Unlike a swing check valve, this teardrop, when turned counterclockwise, will open and allow flow, removing the check part of the valve. This may be used if the main pump or circulator fails. You could have gravity flow through the piping. Just like hot air rises, hot water will rise in the system and cold water will fall, providing a natural flow. The next item is a suction diffuser. It's typically mounted on the inlet to the pump. This device has four functions: straightening vane, strainer, elbow, and reducer. The straightening vane smooths the flow into the pump. Excessive turbulence feeding the pump could cause a flow imbalance, which could destroy the impeller and mechanical seal, costing the owner lots of money. The suction diffuser has an internal strainer to catch large pieces of gunk, rust, and dirt before they reach and destroy the impeller and mechanical seal. The strainer should be inspected and cleaned yearly or replaced. If it is plugged or severely restricted, it can reduce the water flow to the pump, causing cavitation. This can destroy the pump impeller. Calling it an elbow oversimplifies what it does. It reduces the space required for piping the pump. Imagine the space required if all the components had to be fit in one at a time. It's like shoving 10 pounds of potatoes in a 5-pound bag. In most instances, the pump inlet is smaller than the actual pipe size needed for the system. The suction diffuser may have a smaller pipe on the outlet than on the inlet, saving the installation of a pipe reducer. The triple duty valve is usually on the pump discharge. You'll never guess how many jobs this valve has. Okay, I guess the triple duty name gave it away. But it does balancing, shutoff, and it's a check valve. The installer or balancing company sets the balancing valve to ensure the proper flow of water through the pump and pipes. The mechanical engineer or designer determines the flow rate. Adjusting the flow without appropriate test equipment could lead to comfort complaints. It's also a shutoff valve. I'm hesitant to use it as a shutoff valve because I'm afraid I will not be able to get the proper flow back by eyeballing it. The last duty is a check valve. It's usually called a soft slam or slow closing check valve to avoid the banging you would hear when using a quick opening check valve. The last item are balance valves. This valve is adjusted using a manometer gauge to measure the flow through each zone properly. You may hear them called circuit setters, a name Bell & Gossett coined. They are typically used on the return pipes from a coil or zone. When installed on the return pipe, they reduce the air and noise of the system. Unless you have proper test equipment and the engineer's original specifications, they should not be adjusted. That being said, I have adjusted them on the field by using the engineer's Delta T and adjusting them for the proper temperature drop through the coil. If you find this video helpful, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more expert advice and tips. Thank you for watching. I've written boiler books and they're available on Amazon. My technical articles are included in many of these industry publications. Thanks for stopping by Boiler Room Detective, and I'll see you on the next case.